Joe Biden and Kevin McCarthy, the sellout Speaker of the House, managed to agree to what they call the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Now, when you think fiscal responsibility, I know the first thing that comes to mind is increasing the debt by $4 trillion, which is what they did. Nothing screams fiscal responsibility more than racking up $4 trillion or more in debt. Nothing. That's like if they mandated that everyone have 7 beers before they got behind the wheel and called it the Safe Driving Act. It's the same thing. So Joe Biden did have a comment on it that we wanted to play for you guys. Go ahead and check this video out of what he had to say on raising the debt ceiling.
We're not going to increase the debt that every president has done for the last 6 million years here. Never hadn't done anything but that.
6 million years. It's a tradition. He's just keeping it up, okay? 6 million years. They were borrowing money from dinosaurs back then. Dinosaurs and Neanderthals. We were borrowing money from them. And then we elected him to the Senate with John Fetterman, junior bridesmaid senator John Fetterman.
A big, stupid, ugly ogre.
So, yes, they increased the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. Now, this is tentative. It may be agreed on by the time this airs. It may have completely fallen apart. I have no idea. They increased the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. Because money's fake, right? Who cares? Just run it up. Dollar bills, y'all, right? None of it's real. You spend as much...
Dollar bills, y'all.
Spend as much as you so please. Imagine if you had a credit card with no minimum payments, you never had to pay it back, and you could just keep extending the limit for as long as you want. It's like that cheat on Sims where you give yourself like X amount of dollars, and every time you run low, you just give yourself more. It's the same thing, except this time, you're a narcissistic, sociopathic murderer who doesn't care that his kids and grandkids will eventually have to foot the bill for this debt someday. So... no spending cuts. That's the big part. No spending cuts within the next 5 years. They will freeze spending next year and then increase it to account for inflation in 2025. So like a 79% increase at this rate. So you've got Democrats, rhinos, Bill Kristol, and the neocons all out in locks, in the media, of course, the whole regime, all out in lockstep support of this bill. All our favorite Republicans, the Cheneys, the Bushes, Kevin McCarthy, Mitt Romney, all the best ones, right? All the best Republicans. What could go wrong? All of the people that have worked for decades to screw us over just agreed to raise the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. What could go wrong? It's all going to be okay. It's all great. I can't wait. We are going to make a killing doing 99-cent ramen noodle ads on this show. There's going to be so much ad revenue for that. Spend your SNAP money here. Spend your SNAP money here. Oh, except you can't do that because they are cutting. That is one of the things they're cutting is a SNAP eligibility for 54-year-olds who don't work a minimum number of hours. They'll lose eligibility in 2030. Now, exceptions were made for veterans, which is going to be important because we're going to need that. When these psychopaths send a bunch more future veterans, off to fight in Ukraine. Because, of course, they didn't cut any money to Ukraine. That goes without saying. Now, listen, I'm not crazy about government handouts. I'm unapologetically conservative. I'd prefer we don't have a bunch of welfare going out. But if you put a gun to my head and said, hey, beefed up defense bill that we just toss money at other countries, or maybe we can help poor people eat. I'm going to go with the poor people. For now. Okay, the military-industrial complex will be all right if they miss a paycheck. Those guys aren't missing any meals, I promise you. But that wasn't enough. Totally straight Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina had this to say on, it's not a video, it's just me, had this to say on the debt ceiling. He was upset. Now, there wasn't anything in particular he was upset about. He was more upset about what it didn't say. He said nothing, and this is the debt ceiling. This is about our spending here in the United States. Nothing in, I'll say it like him, nothing in this bill provides weapons or technology to Ukraine to help defeat Putin and make the world more stable. That's what totally straight Lindsey Graham had to say. Because before we plunge further into debt, that's the big question we should be asking. What do the money laundering war criminals get out of this? He was on video the other day saying the money we've blown in Ukraine was the quote-unquote best money we've ever spent because Russians were dying. Really? How is that the best money we've ever spent? I've lived in this country my whole year, and I'm going to tell you right now, a 19-year-old Russian kid getting blown up in Ukraine does nothing for me. That does nothing for me. The best money you could spend would just be giving it back to me. Just cut my taxes. Stop making me pay so much. Now, did we make sure Pfizer got a cut out of this money? That's the important part. Did Pfizer...
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Did Pfizer get their cut? The 87,000 new IRS agents they added won't see a cut, thanks to the big sellout Kevin McCarthy. I told you guys he was going to do this. I told you guys he was going to be a sellout. So the IRS, Ukraine, the intelligence agencies, the military-industrial complex get nothing, right? Biden and McCarthy went after the real monsters, 54-year-olds receiving SNAP benefits for food. The real monsters. Took it to them. They'll also reinstate student debt payments in September. Now, listen, I don't think that we should just go out waiving student debt willy-nilly either. That's one of those issues I've been back and forth. I don't think we should do that either. But I kind of see where these people are coming from. The federal government can't manage their money. Why should you? I wish the federal government would hold itself to the same standard of fiscal responsibility that it holds 18-year-old kids to. That's a hell of a concept. Well, you took out $5,000 in student loans to go to college after we systematically drilled it in your head for 13 years that you'd be a Walmart griller or a Walmart greeter if you didn't go to school. You need to pay that back with interest. Now, we're going to pull out $5,000 is a low estimate, actually. Now, we're going to pull out $4 trillion in a year. And, hell, maybe we'll pay it back. Maybe we won't. We'll pass that on to you. Okay? See, this is my thing. This is why I say we need to start an age limit for politicians. And it's not just my hatred for the elderly. We need to start an age limit for politicians because these people have no skin in the game. You get Dianne Feinstein, Grandma Death. It's like 97 billion years old. She was actually alive 6 billion years ago when Joe Biden was raising the debt ceiling. People like that, they have no skin in this game. And you'll say, oh, well, they have their kids, they have their grandkids. These sociopaths could give a crap about their kids. Their kids are rich, they're strapped, they're set for life. They don't care. They'll be fine. These people have no skin in the game. If you're going to turn 75 years old by the end of your first or your second term as president or a senator or whatever, you shouldn't be allowed to run for office. Or you should have to resign when you turn 75. These people do not have to deal with the consequences of their own actions. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.